Good morning everyone. So myself Mr. Namit Khurtarkar. So today we will be learning about the dopaminergic neurotransmission. So by the end of the topic, the learners will be able to know the synthesis, storage and release of dopaminergic neurotransmitters. Along with it, the learners will also come to know the breakdown of dopaminergic neurotransmitters. So first we will see the synthesis of dopamine. So by looking at the diagram, we can understand that the dopamine is mainly synthesized from the amino acid, that is tyrosine. Now this tyrosine is taken up by the aromatic L-amino acid transporters. And the tyrosine is then catalyzed to dihydroxyphenylalanine, which is abbreviated as L-DOPA, by the enzyme tyrosine hydroxylase. So L-DOPA is further converted to DOPA in the presence of aromatic L-amino acid decarboxylase. So here you can see in this diagram, this DOPA is transported into the vesicles. So in this vesicle, here you can see there is a gate-like structure which we call it as a vesicular monoamine transporter. So what this vesicular monoamine transporter does is, the dopamine which has been formed, it will enter the vesicle. So this vesicle is just like a storage compartment. So upon nerve stimulation, it is then transferred out of the vesicles to the synaptic cleft. So in this diagram which you can see, the above one is the presynaptic neuron, the next one is the postsynaptic neuron, and the gap in between is the synaptic cleft. So this dopamine is being stored in the vesicle. So whenever there is a nerve stimulation, there will be opening of this calcium channel in the presynaptic neuron. So that will lead to the increased amount of calcium ions into the presynaptic neuron, which will lead the vesicle to move towards the terminal end. And from there, the dopamine which is being stored in the vesicle, it will be thrown out of the presynaptic neuron by means of exocytosis. Now the dopamine is present in the synaptic cleft. Now there are three conditions which will take place. The first one is this dopamine will enter the postsynaptic neuron, that is the receptors which are present in the postsynaptic neuron. Now when I say about receptors, there are basically 5 different types of dopamine receptors. So the D1 receptor, that is the D1 receptor, D2 receptor, D3, D4 and D5. Now let's look into the distribution of the D1 receptor. So D1 receptor, you find it in the striatum and neocortex. D2 receptor, you find it in the striatum, substantia nigra and pituitary gland. D3 receptor is present in the olfactory tubule, nucleus accumbens and hypothalamus. D4 receptors is present in frontal cortex, medulla and midbrain, and D5 receptor is present in hippocampus and hypothalamus. Now these dopamine receptors D1 and D1 and D5 receptors, right? They come under D2 receptor family, right? And it has a short C-terminal tail with long cytoplasmic loop. Whereas D2, D3 and D4, it has a long C-terminal and short cytoplasmic loop. So this was the first condition wherein the dopamine which is been thrown out from the presynaptic neuron to the synaptic cleft will move towards the postsynaptic neuron and go and bind to the different types of receptors. Second one will be, it will be taken up by the presynaptic receptors which is present in the presynaptic neuron. And the third condition which is there is it will be taken back into the presynaptic neuron where the dopamine will get degraded with the help of an enzyme called as monoamine oxidase. Now there are two isoforms of this enzyme monoamine oxidase, that is monoamine oxidase A and monoamine oxidase B. So these are the mitochondrial enzymes which helps in the degradation of the dopamine into the presynaptic neuron. So these are the three conditions wherein the dopamine will go and bind to the postsynaptic neuron, it will go and bind to the autoreceptors which is present in the presynaptic neuron, and it will be taken up by the dopamine presynaptic dopamine neuron and it will get degraded. Yes. Now this diagram will illustrate about the dopamine breakdown. So at first the dopamine is converted to DOPAC in the presence of monoamine oxidase and aldehyde. So DOPAC is converted to homovanillic acid in the presence of catechol O-methyl transferase. So this dopamine is then converted to 3-methoxytyramine in the presence of catechol O-methyl transferase and is then oxidized to homovanillic acid by monoamine oxidase and alcohol dehydrogenase. So this homovanillic acid is the most stable dopamine metabolite which is excreted in the urine. Now coming to the drugs involving dopaminergic neurotransmission, the first drug is a dopamine precursor which includes a levodopa. So it provides a substrate for increased dopamine synthesis. The second category is the dopamine receptor agonist which includes bromocriptine, pergolide, pramipexole and ropinirole. Third category of drug is inhibitors of dopamine metabolism, and that includes two categories. So when we talk about metabolism, see there are basically two enzymes which has to be inhibited. One is the monoamine oxidase B and another one is a catechol O-methyl transferase. So the drugs which will inhibit the monoamine oxidase B are rasagiline and selegiline, and the drugs which will inhibit catechol O-methyl transferase are tolcapone and entacapone. Then the fourth category of drugs are antipsychotic agents which includes phenothiazines and undophenothiazines. They are drugs like chlorpromazine, perfenazine, flufenazine, etc. and butyrophenones which includes haloperidol and droperidol. So how does these drugs act? So basically these drugs will antagonize the mesolimbic mesocortical D2 receptors. And the last category of drug is atypical antipsychotic agents which includes clozapine and olanzapine, which mechanism of action will be to antagonize the D2 and D4 receptors. And there are also drugs like risperidone and ziprasidone which not only antagonize D2 receptors but also antagonize 5-HT2 receptors. So these are the drugs which are involved in dopaminergic neurotransmission. Thank you.